Hi, I'm Kate.
And I'm Bailey.
And these are our book boyfriends. Okay, you know we dance every time we do the intro. I always think Joe's gonna clip that part out, so that's why I dance. And this last video that I watched with us, I'm literally like, I'm like, oh my gosh.
I can clip it out, I guess.
No, it's fine. Now I'm prepared for it, so it's cool. Anyways. Today, we are diving into the first book of the Dreamland Billionaires trilogy. I don't even know who it's by.
Lauren Asher.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and these are some big books. I was not anticipating how big these were.
We got the physical copies. I was like, oh.
Yeah.
We really, did that, didn't we?
We dived into this one.
Yeah, we just saw them on the internet, like, just scrolling, so we didn't think about it.
Yeah. But this will be a little different because typically we've done like interconnected series in like one episode, but each of these books are going to get their own dedicated episode, which I think will be
they're big.
Yeah, and it'll be a nice change of pace for us too.
Not cramming some reading in, which I still did today.
Literally.
But before we get into the book,
Okay.
Don't forget to comment on here if you have things to say. Like if you read this book and have things to say, we'd like to talk to you guys in the comments. And then something fun I thought we could do is just a random topic we could talk about before the book.
Okay.
Just to have something not book related in them. Just like, have you read anything recently that you would recommend? Anything
recently?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
I want to reread it first before I make it a true recommendation, but I think it's called Red Rising. Mm-hmm. I listened to the audiobook, and the audiobook was done really, really well, but my headspace wasn't where it needed to be in order to really give this book the dedication that it needed. So I remember really, really liking it, but I want to physically read it before I make it an official recommendation, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be a highly recommended book for me. It's like a play on, it's futuristic, it's dystopian, but it's a play on Roman mythology, which I'm really, really into Roman mythology. So I think the content I would really, really enjoy, but I just didn't give it enough mental capacity. So I want to reread that, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be even with me zoning out and zoning back in, it's still a 4.5 out of 5.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I think when I actually absorb all the information, it'll be a 5 out of 5 for me. So that one will be probably a recommended one.
Anything you would strongly discourage people from reading?
I don't know. I feel like if I did, you would remember it better because, I get, passionate about books and then I kind of forget after. You know what I mean?
I don't think you've said anything.
No, I actually
couldn't even
had
tell you
a pretty good, reading year in 2023, and then 2024 has kind of had, a slow start for me, so I haven't really come across a book that, I've DNF'd. The last...
It's fine, though. It's just more editing on my phone.
I'm so sorry, Joe. My alarm literally just went off and ruined everything. And we've already restarted this episode once.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had the cord go bad, so that was great, too.
Yeah. I don't think I've read anything that I'm fuck this book.
Yeah, me either.
Really? That's good.
Yeah. I mean,
What book recently have you read that you would recommend?
I recently reread Icebreaker.
Yeah.
And I really like that book. It's just a cute little romance book, but...
Bro, you have not shut up about Fourth Wing and Iron Flame.
I do love them.
Yeah.
I read them, I guess it was somewhat recently.
Yeah.
Very much like that series, but I'm sure everyone hears a lot about that series.
Yeah.
It's kind of everywhere.
Yeah, that's Addie LaRue is always a hands down. I will recommend that to anyone. But most of the times when I recommend it, they're already oh yeah, I have read that one. That's just
it's just been out a while now.
Yeah, everyone's read that book. And I feel Fourth Wing and Iron Flame are now up there with that.
Yeah.
I haven't read the second one yet. I have your copy of it. But I haven't read it yet.
Then Joe's going to read it.
Yeah.
Oh.
He doesn't know that yet.
Okay.
Just found out.
Just
kidding.
I got one.
Oh, shit. My bad, Joe.
Okay.
I already know what you're going to say.
Yeah, Don't Believe It. An amazing thriller.
Don't Believe It is the name?
Yeah.
And you would recommend it?
If you like thrillers, yeah. It's really good. I read it in 3 days.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot for Joe.
I wouldn't say it's a lot. Don't give me that face.
Just a slower reader. I'm just saying. You are.
So what she's saying is that the recommendation based off of a 3-day read is high.
Yeah.
Yes.
You wouldn't shut up talking about it to me too. Like,
Yeah, didn't he
even
force
finished
you to
it.
read it?
Well, I haven't read it, but he was like, "You need to read this. You need to read this." Before he even finished it, he's like, "You need to read this."
It was so good.
Because I
like,
love thrillers. So
thrillers are kind of like a formula. Like you know, there's like a way to write them, and like you always get like a twist ending. That's like the formula of it. And this one was just like crazy. Like at 60%, they just kept dropping like bombs every like couple of pages. And I'm just
wow.
like, oh my gosh, what is going on?
And Joe's very bad about if we watch a movie or he can guess what's gonna happen. It's very annoying, actually.
I didn't guess it.
Oh, wow.
I had
that's
a
crazy.
suspicion of a couple people, and the one that it ended up being, I was like, whoa.
Whoa.
Have you read The Silent Patient by Alex Michaelides?
No,
or
I haven't read that one.
The Maidens? Those are literally the only thrillers that I've read. I'm pretty sure those are the only two that I've read. Have you read The Maidens?
Not that one.
That one's really good. I liked it a lot. But Silent Patient, you did read. I hadn't. Bro, that caught me so off guard. But I'm pretty sure
guessed it.
you said that you guessed it. But
Which
I was
is crazy
like,
because I don't ever guess.
yeah.
Ever.
No, I'm not a thriller girly. I'm a comfort reader. I like escapism, like fantasy escapism, not like someone's gonna fucking murder me behind the library type stuff. Like, that's not my vibe. That's not my vibe. I walk around campus at night too often for me to have thrillers up in my head.
Well, this person died in St. Lucia, so it was nice out. It was a beach.
No.
Die happy. Relaxed. On vacay.
I don't want to die on vacay.
That would suck, yeah.
That would suck. Getting your body back home, that would suck.
It's not your problem.
I guess you're right.
You did!
I did.
Okay, let's talk about the actual book.
Okay.
You can introduce it.
Okay, cool. So this is the first of 3 of the Dreamland Billionaires. So we're doing this episode a little bit different. So instead of doing all of the trilogy in one episode, kind of like we've been doing in the past with our other episodes, we're doing each episode for like a dedicated book, which is going to change the pace up a little bit for us. And I think it'll just give us more time to be like in the one single book. And this one is different because we haven't read the rest of the series yet. So we'll also be able to do like predictions. At the end of this episode, we'll do predictions of how the next 2 episodes will go. So I'm a little excited about that too, because we're not ever really blindsided in our episodes because we've read everything that we need to before we record.
Yeah,
so I
that's
think
true.
it'll be exciting.
Little thriller,
Yeah.
if you will.
Oh my gosh.
Just kidding. Did you say who it was by?
Lauren Asher, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just couldn't remember if you said it.
So this one's the fine print. It's the first one.
The
Yeah.
fine print. And obviously we're going to spoil the whole book, so there you go. There's your warning.
Yeah,
And
but
we
we...
have potty mouth, so rated R.
Oh, yep.
Yup.
Rated 18.
So I have a very long synopsis for you.
Okay.
So this book is about Rowan. It is our male main character. Who starts out with his grandfather has just passed away after being ill for many years. And his grandfather is the creator of this popular amusement park called Dreamland. Hence the title. And they're very rich. At their grandfather's funeral, a lawyer tells Rowan and his 2 brothers that to be given their share of the company, they must first complete a task. And they get a letter individualized from their grandfather. And if they do not get their shares, it goes to their dad. And they hate their dad. So obviously they're going to try to do everything they can. And they want their money.
Yeah.
Rowan, who's the main character in this one, is the youngest of the brothers. And the grandfather said he must make Dreamland magical again. And he is to become the director of that certain amusement park and do a renovation. And he has 6 months to do so. And then it will be later voted on by a board from the grandfather's choosing to see if it's like good enough and if he's going to get his share pretty much. Declan is the eldest brother, and he must marry someone and get them pregnant to become CEO.
That weird caveat.
Bro, I was like...
Pregnancy trope. LOL.
Arranged marriage.
Yeah.
I was like, what the hell, Gramps?
Yeah, really? No, he came out. He was like...
Swinging on that one.
Yes.
And then the middle child, his name's Cal. He must reunite with someone named Alana. So literally all we get is because he doesn't let his brothers read the letter.
Yep.
So, like, that's the only thing we hear of that one. We don't really get the 2 other brothers a whole lot in this one. So it'd be fun to see, like, our predictions on them and then read their books.
Yeah.
So obviously those are the 2 other books. I don't know which one's next.
I think it's Terms and Conditions.
Well, no, I don't know which brother.
Oh, I don't know. I haven't looked.
I think it's Declan.
I wanna say it's Declan.
I think so.
Yeah.
So while Rowan goes to Dreamland, becomes a director, he goes to the creators of this amusement park. So they create the new rides, new attractions, and all that. So, like, that's, like, their only job. Tells them they have 6 months to come up with a new idea. And then it's supposed to come up. They're going to, like, unveil it at the park's anniversary. Because I think it was, like, a 50?
Maybe 50.
Maybe 50 year. Like, it's, like, a big anniversary.
Yeah.
So he doesn't tell anyone their reason behind this project, just that they need to get her done. And so the creators open up their annual portal to their employees to, like, submit ideas, which I thought was really cool.
That is
I
really
wonder
cool.
if, like, Disney does that.
I don't know.
But that was really interesting, I thought.
Yeah.
So then we get our female character, Zara.
Zara is how in the audiobook it's pronounced Zara.
Zara. Okay. Zara, she's an employee of the park. She works as a makeup artist for the kids. So she, like, dresses them up as princesses and does their makeup. Super cute.
Yeah.
She runs into Rowan on his first day, and he seems to instantly just, like, not really like her.
Yeah.
She shows up late. She's loud. So there's that. Then he shows up where she works, and she's like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
There
like,
he
what
is.
did I
I'm
do?
getting fired.
Yeah.
But she doesn't. And then when the portal opens, she does a drunk submission where she tears apart a newer ride of theirs that's, like, space themed. I can't remember the name of it. Starts with an N.
Nebula Land or something.
Probably.
Nebula something.
And she tears it apart because her ex-boyfriend, named Lance, who also works at the park, like, stole her idea, submitted it, and then they accepted his idea.
Yeah, and he got all the credit for it.
Yeah, even though she was working on it behind the scenes, he stole it before she was done with it, submitted it, and then he got accepted, and his ride got built. So she just kind of destroyed it in her submission. So after... they submitted it. So this was after the owner of this park, his name is Brady. He became ill, obviously, and so he was in the hospital for, like, years, it said.
Yeah.
Because...
So Brady is grandpa.
Yeah, the grandpa. And Zara was working with Brady on this idea when the ex-boyfriend stole it. Mm-hmm. Brady had already become ill once her ex-boyfriend submitted the idea. So that's why I didn't get,
like,
slashed
vetoed.
down.
Yeah.
So then it became a nice little attraction. Her drunken submission gets noticed, and she's called to Rowan's office. Once again, she thought she was getting fired, but he actually offers her a job as a creator, which is the job she's been wanting since she's been working there. And so then they start working really closely together. And then she submits ideas, but Rowan secretly helps her with her drawings because she can't draw for shit. So she has these really great ideas, but I guess the creators have to, like, actually sketch out their ideas, and she can't. So he pretends to be an animator named Scott and draws her ideas for her so she can submit them for the proposal. And then she starts texting Scott, like, every day. Scott.
Yeah.
Which is actually Rowan. And then she starts to feel guilty for, like, having feelings for both of these guys.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like the synopsis of the whole story.
Yeah. That was a good one. Good job.
Thank you.
Yes. I know you worked hard on that. It was good.
Thank you, Joe.
Round of applause.
Soft claps.
Round of applause. Yeah.
What were your, like, initial thoughts?
Initially, I mean, yeah, it's a typical Grumpy Sunshine.
It's a little too Grumpy Sunshine.
It's a little too Grumpy
like
Sunshine.
where they outright say, I'm the grumpy and she is sunshine.
Yeah.
Like, I shit you not. It's too...
Yeah, she's, like, super, super optimistic and everything. But one thing that I really like about her optimism is that we kind of do get a hint at, like, that isn't how she's always been.
Yeah.
So she has this, like, collection of pins, like, that she wears on her clothes. And she wears, like, a special pin every single day. And Rowan's like, where the heck does she get all these pins from?
Yeah.
Like, this is so weird. Like, this is totally against, like, the uniform that she's supposed to be wearing. Because, you know, he's just, like, a big director. And all he cares about is the roles or whatever. And then he notices on her bag a special pin, which is the semicolon pin. So he's like, what in the world is a woman like that doing with a pin like that? Like, what is the story behind this? And so we kind of know that there is, like, something deeper But what we see of her now is just like this optimistic, always sees the best in people type
bubbly.
Person. Yeah. And he just is cynical as hell.
Very.
Sees everything as like just trying to make money. Like that's the only thing he sees. He's like, why do I need to make human connection when I can just get paid more?
Yeah.
Like, why do I need that?
Which I think stems from like he had a terrible childhood with his mom had cancer and died when he was really young. So he grew up with just his dad. And his dad was a drunk and just like not really there.
Yeah.
Made fun of him because he wasn't athletic like his brothers because he's the youngest. Wasn't athletic. He liked drawing, and his dad saw that as like weak and called him such.
Yeah.
And I mean, he had his grandpa, but of course then
There was like a
his
distance.
grandpa was busy.
Yeah.
Running this amusement park.
Yeah, and it's caused Rowan to like literally just like, I don't want to be in love because I saw what happened to my dad. My dad was in love, lost the love of his life, and he turned out into this piece of shit. Like, not my cup of tea.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Not my cup of tea.
Nope.
Poor guy.
Yeah. I'm like,
I don't remember what position he had before this because he's worked for the company. Like,
yeah.
So I don't remember what exactly it is, but he made decisions, obviously. He, chooses the employees' pay. He chooses their
Yeah, he's definitely part of the
health
board.
insurance. Yeah, like he's been a part of a lot of decisions made that we kind of later find out from Zara and other characters that have really hindered them and hindered their love for the park and wanting to work for the park. So he saw it as like bottom line will make more money.
Yeah.
Bottom line will make more money, and so he makes decisions with that in mind, opposed to, like you said, like humans.
Yeah.
Human connection and such, so. And then, as we go on in the book, that starts to...
He
starts to, I think, realize, like, oh, I'm a fucking piece of shit.
Yeah. But not in the way that, like, his dad was calling him a piece of shit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. He's, like, almost... Yeah. He's been perpetuating his father's own words in a way that he wasn't intending. And he kind of sees that because of Zara. But in a weird way. Because he's, like... So he's, like, drawn to Zara, which is why he creates this Scott character. He, like, wants to help Zara, but he hasn't designed or created anything in a very, very long time because his dad, like, shat on him for it or whatever. So he takes this idea, gives Scott her number or something, and she's just, like, so serious about thanking Scott. She's like, no, like, I want to thank this person. Like, they're literally making this, like, my job easy.
Easier,
like, they need the credit. And he's like, no, that's not what they want. And she's like, no, like, I insist. So he creates Scott, and then they're texting, and I loved it.
Yeah, I liked the text. How she could not tell they were the same fucking person, I don't know.
The first time that she talked to Scott about, like, being hungry or some shit, like being at the office and being hungry, and then Rowan shows up and orders food, I'm like, you dumb bitch.
Like, even before that, just like the way he talked was the exact same as Rowan. Just super cynical. Super grumpy. And she's like, oh, I don't even know. I was just like,
yeah.
at least try, Rowan.
Yeah.
At least try to be different.
Like, you may as well.
Yeah.
You have this interface, like, keeping you away. No, he was just fully himself, which where...
I mean, yeah. I guess was good in the end.
Beneficial.
But, yeah.
But so I thought when this Scott character arose that would be our third act breakup, if you will. Is that she found out that it was Scott. Well, he eventually does come clean that it's Scott. And she's pissed, but then she gives him another chance.
Gets over it.
And then we see, like, kind of a little bit of a relationship. But it's not a serious relationship. They're both like, oh, we'll just keep it casual.
Yeah.
But then he, like, flies her to New York for, like, a book signing that he created for her. And I'm like...
That part was fucking crazy.
This is not casual.
Which, I feel like that's with a lot of our books.
You're right.
They're like, it's casual.
And then
they
they're
just
like,
lying to themselves.
Yeah, and then they do the most heartfelt thing ever in human existence.
To him, that's not heartfelt.
I guess not.
Him jetting her to New York from Florida.
Yeah, but he called this author.
That's true. Apparently they were friends.
And some connection. I can't remember.
Her favorite author, which is like just writes romance novels, I think.
Oh, it's like their universes, Julia Quinn and like Bridgerton.
Oh.
That's the parallel, I think, because it's like the Duke Who Seduced Me.
There's a lot of books like that, and you just love
You're right.
Bridgerton.
You're right. So
There's
I
a
see it.
lot of books.
I just see Bridgerton.
Bridgerton.
There it is. Little bumblebee. Bridgerton. Love it.
So he like arranges a whole event, a book signing event, just so, and secretly packs all of her books by this author.
Yeah.
So that the lady can sign them all.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's at the end.
Okay.
At the beginning.
I'm a jumper.
Yeah, I'm just playing. I thought it was really funny. There was a shit ton of Pride and Prejudice references.
I know.
Like a shit ton.
I didn't know there was that many versions of Pride and Prejudice. Apparently
Yeah.
there's like 17, I
That's
think
what
the
they
book
said
was
in
talking
here.
about. 17?
What?
That's
I
crazy.
thought there was 2.
Me too. The
BBC, Keira Knightley.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's it.
There's 15 more that
Yeah.
Kate didn't know about, so we ain't gonna see her ass for months.
Bye.
But I thought that was really funny. And there was like a reference, I think it was strongly comparing him to Mr. Darcy.
Yeah.
Do you,
He even called himself out. He was like, are you really comparing yourself to Mr. Darcy right now?
yeah, do you think he's a Mr. Darcy?
I mean, okay, listen, because Mr. Darcy, this is what happened.
You said, Joe has something to say.
There is currently at least 17 movies.
Where? What the fudge?
I gotta find them.
That's according to the Google.
Okay. Well, Darcy does this beautiful thing where when Elizabeth calls him out on his shit, he's like, you're right. And he fixes himself because he realizes, oh, like, I'm kind of a dick. You're right. And he does all this stuff not to win Elizabeth back, but it's inspired by her critiques, okay? But he does it for himself, okay? And then when Elizabeth comes back into his life, she sees the difference on her own, okay? It's the same thing. He is a Mr. Darcy.
So you agree with that?
Yes.
Okay.
I needed my point to be made.
I would like to point out, so this morning that we are filming this, I was not done with the book. I had 70% left. So I was like, okay, I'm going to download the audiobook. I'm going to listen to it fast. I'm going to do some chores, whip it out.
Yeah.
I'm mad at you, first of all. When the narrator came on, I stopped what I was doing in my tracks. My jaw hit the floor. And I texted Caitlin. I said, what the fuck is this narrator? He has an amazing voice, and how dare you not tell me that?
Okay, listen, because I was
His
kind
name's
of...
Aiden Snow.
I'm kind of a little ashamed that I jumped into the audiobook so quickly. I just knew myself. I was like, I'm not going to read this book physically. I'm just going to jump on this audiobook. But no, at first I was like, oh, that's like too deep. And then I was like, wait a second.
I was shocked.
Yeah.
And I never got a spicy scene in that point of view. Because I started at the end. I missed them all.
Oh, yeah.
I can't even imagine. And
You should honestly go back.
I'm about to go back and like find one and listen to it just with his voice.
No, his voice is
Incredible.
incredible. Like, if he was a young, dark-haired gentleman, I would
That's
be
what I
like,
pictured.
Reese. Like, there's our Reese. That's
Oh,
who we've
yeah.
been looking for. Because still have not found him. I'm sure of it. No one will be able to live up to that.
I was like, will anyone?
No, but he's an older gentleman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he has a great fucking voice for
Literally
these
beautiful.
books.
Apparently his TikTok like blew up just recently. And he's like, I have to get like 1,000 followers and then I can do like a live or whatever. And then the next day he was like, going live. Like,
We did it.
we did it. Yeah.
Yeah. He does a few other romance, but oh my gosh. So there's this fantasy book we've read, The Serpent and the Wings of Night.
Yeah.
When I was looking it up, he narrates the second one.
No.
Yes. No. So you're going to listen to that, aren't you?
Damn.
But
It
anyway,
is
he
a
has
beautiful voice. And it's like just gravelly enough. It's like it just tickles that itch in your brain. You know what I mean? You're just like listening and you're like,
I'll have to show you, Joe, because you're looking.
no, it's literally like his voice is
But
like,
you can't hear him right
has
now.
me in a
It
chokehold.
has samples on his Instagram.
Yeah, but I know, but I'm just saying, don't listen to them right now.
I didn't. I was
Okay.
going to, but then I decided that was a terrible idea because no one else could hear it.
It's incredible. So if you haven't read this book, recommend, if you're going to read it, listen
Yeah, the
to
audiobook is, yeah.
because
great.
it's told in his point of view and her point of view.
Which I
so
love.
Like when I was physically reading it, I would kind of forget mid-chapter, like, oh shit, whose point of view am I in again? Mm-hmm. So I think the audiobook would be nice for that aspect of it. Not very important, but just of note.
little.
Just
Yeah.
of note. Great voice.
Yeah.
Now, their first kiss, Were you? It happened so fast.
Yeah, it was in the boardroom, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the creators, every week they get in the boardroom and like pitch an idea.
Yeah, every Friday.
Yeah, which is crazy to me.
That's so much.
My friend's a reporter, and when she was working in Myrtle Beach, every single day I'm pretty sure they had to have an idea in the morning.
That's a lot.
So much. I was like, damn.
She said she had to have multiple.
Oh, God. Even
like
worse.
she had to have like her main story, and if that didn't fall through, she had the other stuff she had to.
Every day.
Wow.
Yeah. Just coming up with stories would be
terrible.
But then again, like that's her job, so I'm sure she
like her brain just thinks that way.
Has a bunch of contacts. You know, an easy one would be look at the gel stuff, because that happened while we were there.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, we saw that.
We I guess I have been on the news one time, and she did ask me a lot of unrelated questions.
What do you mean?
Okay, so like there was a stabbing in my neighborhood.
Drastic change of subject.
There was a stabbing in my neighborhood, and like no one would talk to this reporter, and she's like going around like asking, and my mom like runs upstairs and she's like, hey, this reporter is outside, like nobody is talking to her, can you just like go talk to her? And I'm like, yeah, whatever. So I like,
was it here?
Yeah.
Bro, no.
Yeah. And so anyways, but she I'm like just standing on my front porch, and she's asking me about this stabbing, and I'm just answering, and then she's like, okay, on a different topic, and she asks me about something different. So like the Warren Theater was new at this time in our area. And
that
so
girl was.
Yeah, she was asking me about that. And then I think she asked me about a third topic at the same time. And then on the news that night, obviously I watched. You could hear my voice all throughout it, because it's like all the different questions that she asked me.
Oh my gosh.
So homegirl was like just packing up.
She said,
yeah, job well done.
Somebody wants to talk to me? Okay.
Yeah.
Here's all
Here
my
we go.
stories.
I'm going to get her done.
Yeah, really.
Today. That's hilarious.
So that makes sense. But I feel like a whole creator idea, like an entire ride,
yeah,
or an entire float, or attraction, like every week with the design.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Which it doesn't sound like they were doing a good job, but
you're right.
It's fine. Or at least not from Rowan's perspective. And he's
like,
kind of a hard ass.
Waste.
Dumb. Suck. Anyway. Yeah, it's like after a meeting, he just like kisses her, which blew my mind.
But something happened. I think they got like in a fight, and he's like, no one's ever talked to me like this.
And he's like, yeah. I was just shocked he kissed her at work with people around. Also, it was on page like 20, and I was like, "Oh, we're just diving right in."
It was not that early.
It was hella early. Maybe not 20, but early.
It was pretty early, and it was pretty sudden.
I was like, "Oh God!"
But she was definitely feeling it.
I mean, yeah, but still, an HR nightmare.
Yeah, and he was worried about that.
As he should be.
He was like, fuck, I fucked up. She's gonna call HR. Let me give her money. I was like, you poor little broken soul.
Oh, wait. So I opened my Kindle app, and I highlighted stuff as I read.
Yeah.
Just randomly of note, because we have to do it in every single episode. On page 3, a quote says, "This is me trying."
This is me trying.
So I have to do the obligatory Taylor Swift reference.
Oh, I cry every time I hear that song. It's so good.
Then, page 4. This isn't Taylor Swift, but it's talking about Declan, the eldest brother. It says, his suit matches his dark hair, which only adds to his cloak and dagger look. And in my note, I said, Kate bait. Kate bait.
Yeah. No, I would have loved Declan.
I was like, oh, God, that one's Kate's book for sure.
Yeah, I'm sure of it.
Because at first I thought Rowan was going to be that guy.
Yeah.
But then I was like, oh.
No, he's not. He's got like a tough exterior, but in reality, like, he's not.
Yeah, So at first, when we first got introduced to Rowan, I thought he was going to be like the bad guy, but then of course we get Declan's very obvious cloak and dagger look. I was like, oh no, he's going to be that one.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's see. Maybe I'm trying to find the kiss thing.
Okay.
Page 75. Okay.
It's still pretty early.
Yeah. Because they had very few, I feel like, interactions with each other.
Yeah, and at this point in time, does Scott exist?
No.
I don't think he does yet.
No. No, because I think this was the first board meeting, and it was her shitty drawing. And that's when he was like, oof, bitch needs some help.
You're right.
With her drawing.
And then he tried to say later on that he created Scott to get, like, closer to Zara to see if she had, like, any negative intentions with Rowan. If she was going to pull, like, the whole HR card. Or if she was going to be like, give me money and I'll shut up. Because this poor boy, like, he's just used to people, like, just using them, abusing them.
Boy, this $1 billion.
I know. Okay, listen. No human connection and a whole lot of money. Like, I get it.
But I was shooketh. I was like, oh, we're really getting in on this. And then they just stop.
And then I think she just leaves, doesn't she? It just, like, packs up her stuff and she's like,
oopsie, bye. And then they're like, that never happened.
Yeah, and then they do kind of just, like, act like it didn't happen.
Yeah.
And they're both like, will they? Will they?
And then that's when Scott gets created.
Yup.
And then nothing really happens between them for a while.
Yeah.
Which, once again, I was kind of surprised by. But what do you think of the Scott thing?
I mean, I liked it, but it's the same thing as, like, why I liked the Secret Letters and Secretly Yours. It's, like, this easy way for, like...
very reminiscent of that.
Yeah, you're not worried about this person seeing you saying what you're saying. They're just focusing on the words that you're saying because they don't know who it's coming from. So I feel like it's just read just a lot differently. Because, like, you read something from me, like, you're going to read it in my tone, which may not be in the way that I'm trying to articulate the words that I'm saying, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I liked it. And this sounds really bad, but, like, I'm okay with a little deception every now and then. Like, the end game is what's important, okay? In literature...
Let us be specific.
In literature, deception's okay in my book.
Hear that, Aaron? I'm just kidding.
Don't try shit. Just kidding.
That's so funny.
So I liked Scott.
No.
I liked the idea of Scott.
Yeah. I thought it definitely moved it along. And
yeah.
Did he ever get jealous of him?
No.
The other?
He was never like that because I think he really did just see Zara through it and not like her. He's like, is this me flirting? Is this her flirting? But he never was like, fuck Scott. And then, you know.
How dare she flirt with Scott and not me?
Yeah, but he does have this moment where he's like, Scott can't exist anymore. Like, I have to tell her that this is me because I'm starting to, like, Rowan is starting to have feelings. And I need Zara to reciprocate them type thing. And I think he did pretty well, like, when he came clean.
Yeah.
It was a little messy in the beginning, but she took it pretty freaking well.
Yeah.
I mean, there was, like, only 24 hours where she was pissed, and then she was pretty, you know, like,
Chill
okay, I
with
get it, you know?
Mm-hmm. And then, what'd you feel about the spice in this book?
Oh, my God. It was, like, if the peppers are present, it was, like, out of 5, it's, like, a 4-pepper book, I feel like. I feel like it was a lot, bro.
I didn't.
Really?
I don't know if it was just because, like,
You didn't think it was a lot?
No, and there was only, like, 2.
Okay, I'm going to talk a very explicit scene. So, readers, listeners, beware. Watchers,
Cover your ears.
like...
Maybe I just...
Hold on, let me plug my ears.
Yeah, when she went down on him, and he said, don't swallow.
That one was weird.
And then he said,
right.
let me see.
That's right.
And her mouth is just full of his cum?
Yeah.
Are you kidding?
I
That's
know.
a 4-pepper spicy
Okay.
scene.
I was a little like, what the fuck?
No, that was dirty.
Okay. But there was, what, 2 or 3 scenes?
Yeah, there was like 3 scenes total, but they were all pretty up there.
I guess.
Yeah. So, like, the amount of
That
plot...
one did take me off. I was
Yeah.
like, whoa.
The amount of plot to smut ratio, I feel like in this book was
More plot.
low smut.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was low
That's what I'm
smut.
saying. The
but
ratio.
the smut was good.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like...
Okay, yeah. I see what you mean. Yeah, it was definitely... I know, like, I'm trying to, like, compare it to things we've read in the past. So,
Yeah.
like, Tessa Bailey just has, I feel like, a shit ton of smut in there.
Yeah. It's a sex-driven book.
Yeah.
I feel like this was a plot-driven book. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I feel like comparatively there wasn't as much. But I guess you're right.
They were dirty.
I do think it was a little... I thought it was weird because, you know, like, I feel like it was a cutesy, and they're just like, bang!
Yeah.
Dirty! And then it'd be like, cutesy.
Okay,
cutesy,
but his
cutesy.
personality matched his bedroom personality. Like, we've talked about on this, like, podcast before about how, like, bedroom personalities and outside personalities aren't always the same. I feel like his is very much the same. Like, he commands the room. He's selfish.
That's true.
You know, like, that's how he is in the bedroom, too.
Yeah.
But Zara eats that shit up. She loves it, you know? So,
Yeah.
like, for them, that works. But what we've
true.
seen in other books where there's like a character switch, like they become a completely different person in the bedroom, like that's just not as relatable. I feel like not relatable, but like believable. But like in this, I feel like it was done pretty good. Like it was believable.
He stayed the same throughout.
Yeah.
I did forget about that scene. Didn't forget about it, but
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't know how you
listened
did.
to it today.
Because I remember being like,
I know, I was like, okay. Yeah. Good for you, gate lady.
good for you, lady.
Good for you, lady.
Yeah. That's crazy.
What was their first date? I can't remember it. Oh, the dinner. Because I wrote their first date. It was their dinner out.
With when they see Lance, right?
Yeah, her ex-boyfriend. His name is Lance. I don't know if I said his name.
And Rowan like sent him to Shanghai.
Yeah.
That was amazing. He was like, actually, you just got promoted to the Shanghai branch. You leave tomorrow.
He's like, you're moving, pack your shit. And then she's like, are you serious? He's like, you can either move or quit.
Yeah.
I was like, damn. And she was happy about it. I don't know if I'd be happy about it, but I don't know.
I mean, he kind of fucked her over.
Yeah.
Cheated on her. Stole her idea.
And Lance was there on his anniversary dinner with the girl he cheated on. That's right.
And she called him out. She was like, that's kind of weird, like celebrating your affair.
That is exactly what she said, actually.
And I was like, oh, she's got him balls. Yeah.
Rowan was right there, probably.
Yeah.
I think Rowan taught her how to grow a pair.
Yeah. It was good.
And her friend.
Claire? Was that her name?
Yeah.
Yeah, I really liked Claire in this book. I feel like she's a really, really good friend.
I kept getting Claire and her sister mixed up.
Kara? No.
Annie.
Yeah, in the book it says it weird. Ani. Yeah, in the audiobook they call her Ani.
I said Annie.
Yeah.
But she has so her whole family works at Dreamland.
Yeah, they're a Dreamland family.
Which I guess, well, I don't want to say it's a thing because I know shit all about Disney. But I wonder, like, how accurate this book is. Like, they live on the property of Disney.
Yeah.
They, like, the whole fucking family works there. Like,
yeah.
The mom, the dad, the main character, and her sister all work somewhere in the park.
Yeah.
Which I thought that was crazy.
It is crazy.
But they lived there. And her friend...
Also lives there, right?
Also lives there. She lives with her friend Claire in their own little apartment.
Yeah.
And then her family lives somewhere else, and they're obviously close by. And they can just visit. But they all live there.
Yeah.
That blew my mind. I don't know why.
I mean, like,
where do they live?
I mean, I guess it makes sense because the park is so big. Yeah. Honestly, like, an hour commute to work would suck because that's just from the front gate to where you're working. You know? Like, yeah. So, I mean, it makes sense. I think it's really cool. We haven't talked about her sister at all yet, which she's a very, very big character in this book. So, are we going to say Annie?
Okay.
Annie.
It's easier.
She has Down syndrome, right?
Yes.
Yeah, she has Down syndrome. She's working for the park. And kind of in the beginning of the book, Zara initiates this, like, buddy program type thing. Rowan shows up, honestly, to be a dick. Like, his intentions were not pure.
No, definitely not.
They weren't pure. And then he realized, like, what it was.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, shit. Well, through this buddy program, Rowan ends up becoming a mentor for Annie. And they end up having their own, like, relationship outside of the relationship with Zara.
They do, like, a weekly lunch date or something?
Yeah, they do a weekly lunch date. They have a spot that they meet at. They talk once a week. Like, and they have a friendship that grows throughout the book, which I think is so, so sweet. And we hear from Annie different perspectives that she had of Lance. And she's like, well, Lance always looked at me funny. Oh, yeah. And then she talks about how, like,
well, she said Lance wouldn't come to a meeting like this.
Yeah, Lance wouldn't come to a meeting like this. And she's like, people like me don't work here. I don't see people like me or whatever and stuff like that. So Rowan is also seeing how the park works from Annie's point of view. So not just from his relationship with Zara, but also from just being in the park more often and meeting Annie and meeting Zara's family. He's, like, actually seeing the repercussions for his actions.
Yeah, his shitty actions he's made in the past.
Yeah.
For money.
Yeah, which was a very big character development moment for him.
Yeah, which I liked.
From a quick Google search, employees don't live on
Disney property?
The actual property. It said most live in Orlando. I guess there is a small...
I hope to God.
Well, yeah. I guess there's, like, a small community around it. That's, like, reserved for, like, high managers and, like, stuff.
Oh, that makes sense. Well, because I know Disney has, like, a program for,
this
like...
was also Disney World. I assume Disneyland is different.
Probably. I know someone who was a Disney princess for like a year. There's like Disney programs, and there's like different like study abroads that you can do with Disney or whatever. So I'm sure they have like student housing of sorts, but like full on communities, I don't know. Doesn't sound like that actually exists. Yeah. Be cool.
Sad. And his like grandpa's house is on the property.
Yeah, which is cool.
Still blew my mind. I don't know why I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
But the Annie.
Yeah, I think that was all that I was going to say.
I liked Annie too because she was secretly like trying to pair them up too.
Yeah, she saw the way they looked at each other.
She's like, don't lie.
Yeah.
To both of them. She's like, mm-mm.
Yeah, and then anytime Rowan fucked up, she'd be like, you hurt my sister, we're not friends. Bye.
That's true.
Yeah.
So they went to New York City. This was just oh yeah. Before this, didn't he meet her parents?
Yes.
At dinner?
Yes.
Yeah. So that was cute too.
It was cute. And he asked the whole vacation question.
That's right. He asked like if they were going to go on vacation. Oh, because Annie said they hadn't been on vacation in a long time.
Yeah, and he was like, well, why? And they were like,
everyone's silent.
Because you don't pay us enough, buddy.
Or give us vacation time, probably.
Yeah,
or
there's so many reasons.
And so like everyone was silent for a long time. I don't remember even who broke it.
I think it was Zara.
Or Annie? Okay, it was Zara.
Or it may have been the friend, because the friend was there too. Claire was there too. She may have been the one to be like, well,
we don't get paid, bitch.
Yeah.
That's true. But after this, they went to New York City for that author signing, which we talked about. And they just kind of went around the city, and she ends up getting sick when they get back.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the first time she saw snow.
It is the first time she saw real snow.
Because she's lived in Orlando her whole life.
Yeah.
And she saw snow, which was apparently incredible to her.
Yeah.
And he's like, this ain't shit.
Yeah.
Come to Chicago.
Yeah, and he's talking like they're not cash at all.
Yeah, when you come to Chicago.
Yeah, when you come to the New Year's ball with me or whatever it was, he's like, this is nothing. And I was like,
what?
What do you mean by it?
Yeah, I'd agree. Flying her to New York to see an author is far from casual.
Yeah, and she's just like, oh, he's rich. Like, this is a normal weekend for him. Like, this is whatever. She's, like, talking herself down from seeing it for what it really is. And the whole time I'm like, money would make me so happy. I know it. I just know it. Money would make me so happy.
There was a part earlier in the book, I don't remember if I had it, but he said something like, well, what would you do if you... Something got brought up. It was like, if you had a lot of money. Yeah. Like, would you give it all away or would you keep it or whatever? And she said, well, I would donate a lot of it, I think she said. But she was like, I would also buy first edition copies of all my favorite books. Yeah. And that made me laugh.
Yeah. Because,
like, relatable. True.
Relatable as hell.
But she gets sick when they get back. Yeah. I don't remember exactly what she had, but she does end up getting a pneumonia. Yep. And having to go to the hospital. Very dramatic situation.
Right. I wanted to ask you if this was, like, medically accurate. Like, would she literally sleep for, like, 3 days straight?
I mean, was it 3 days?
I think it was like 2.
Oh, really? I mean, they sleep a lot, but you don't feel good.
She was sick on Monday, and she woke up on Friday. Yeah, she was sick on Monday.
She hadn't eaten.
She went to Rowan's, I think, on Tuesday. Wednesday she fell, or Tuesday she fell, and she was in the hospital, and she woke up Friday.
That seems odd.
Yeah, I feel like that's
to me
really freaking
she also
dramatic.
Hit her head.
Yeah, she did hit her head when she fell.
So she was so weak. She was so weak. She got up to go to the bathroom or something and fell and hit her head. So yeah. I mean,
and there was blood, and he's like freaking out.
There's a lot of blood when you hit your head.
Yeah,
that probably means nothing.
Yeah.
But I don't know what she did to her head. But the pneumonia, it all seems very dramatic to me.
It felt dramatic.
3-month-olds with pneumonias who are way less dramatic than that.
Yeah.
They still fucking fighting my ass, so. Like, I don't know about that. That was a little dramatic. And then he's all like, she's gonna die. Her too. She said, I have not known anybody with pneumonia who didn't die.
Yeah.
I was like, so dramatic.
Yeah.
Most people
don't die. Yeah. The person she knew was like 70 or some shit. Yeah. Who probably smoked or just, you know what I mean? Like,
there's like more factors.
Yeah, I was like, very dramatic, but okay.
Like, we'll go with it. It's literature. Ugh. We'll go with it.
Yeah, so this is what spurs the breakup, is she gets really sick. So Rowan starts tripping balls.
Yep.
Because he also thinks she's going to die, I guess. I'm sure he just kind of reverted back to like when his mom was sick. Mm-hmm. And his grandpa, too, I guess, was really sick.
Because he was in a coma before he died.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so he got a little freaked out.
He's like, nope, this is why I'm not doing this. He's like, this right here is why I can't fall in love, because I feel like garbage.
He also felt like it was his fault.
Yeah.
Because they went to New York and
he should have said
to
no.
have gotten it at New York.
Yeah. Like, he's like, I shouldn't have let her play out in the snow that long. She was freezing. She didn't have the right winter gear, whatever.
Not how that works.
No, he was all in his head.
Not how that works.
Correct. Not how that works.
Yeah.
You don't get pneumonia from cold weather, but it's fine.
Yes.
Also annoyed the shit out of me. But that's fine.
In that scenario, a car accident would have been more dramatic or something. Like, she got in a car accident. Then it would have been like, oh shit, she's in a coma. What do I do? And then it would be more exciting.
Yeah, no, it was a pneumonia that
Take notes.
tore down this.
Lauren Asher. Should have been a car wreck.
Lost a limb. That would have been sick, actually.
Shut the
No,
fuck
only because
up.
at the end, all the disability talk.
You're right. You're right.
But
Well,
pneumonia.
They break up.
Yeah.
And she's like, okay, cool. Like, you're not doing this again. Like, this is not casual. You know it's not. You breaking up with me right now is bullshit. And then she's mad. She's just straight up mad. And then he basically comes crawling back almost immediately after.
Well,
and
yeah,
she's
I'm sure
like,
he feels like shit. And
fuck you!
he has this like weird epiphany with his mom.
Yeah.
So there's on the property, his mom, I guess, there was a swing. I don't know.
Yeah, porch
and
swing.
he was like, I'm going to take it down. And he goes to look at it, and there's something engraved in the porch swing. I don't remember what it was.
Something about her nights, like, always loving with all their heart. Some cheesy ass shit like that.
Do things with kindness
But
or
it, like,
something.
Chipped away at his ice cold heart. So.
Yeah, he saw it and he was like, my mom would not be very happy with the person I am and the decisions I've made for Dreamland. And it was just kind of like an epiphany moment for him. And so he tries to go back. She says, bye.
He's like, yeah,
And then we get to the point, we're kind of getting to the point where it's time for the board. Mm-hmm. So the grandpa, like we said before, assembles a board to vote on his idea to see if it's good enough, whatever.
Yeah.
And Zara gets a letter from the grandpa. I am sure it was like hidden from with the lawyers for the longest time, but she gets a letter and it is asking her to be on the committee to vote for Rowan's idea or whatever. So now she is like, that's why he made me a creator. That's why he's been talking to me and schmoozing me, is because he knew I was going to be a board member and I was going to vote on his idea. And so now she's extra fucking pissed because she thinks everything's been a lie.
Yep.
And the only reason he did anything, which he had no fucking clue. He had no clue who the board members were.
Nope.
One of them was his own assistant and he didn't know until he walked in the door.
He didn't know. I know, bro.
So we know that, which is fucking annoying.
Yeah. Going back and forth during this time, I'm like, no, stop, please, God, please, please. Like, just hear him out. Like.
But she wouldn't. She's like, you knew this whole time.
Yeah. Yeah, and it was crazy. And then she shows up to the meeting, and she sees his assistant, and she's like, oh my God, hi. And she's like, hey. And then, like, when they're sitting in the board meeting, she sees Rowan's reaction to the assistant, and he's in her. And she's like, oh, yeah, no, he did not know.
Yeah, he did not know we would be here.
He did not know we would be here. And then she slowly starts.
Oh, yeah. Like, during his presentation, she cries, like, twice.
Yeah.
So even though he...
So originally it was her idea. It was the last pitch that she gave. The last Friday that she gave.
The beginning part of it.
You're right.
So, in my head, this was the grand gesture. Mm-hmm. But he didn't know she would be there.
You know what?
You know what I'm saying?
Oh my God.
Yeah, that was just hitting me too.
I saw it as the grand gesture too.
Because I mean, in the formula of these books, it is considered the grand gesture.
But he didn't know she'd be there.
Yeah.
And he thought that she was quitting already. Well, he held that paperwork back, which we didn't know.
Yeah.
But
she had quit because she was pissed of the whole situation, so she'd quit. Whatever. Doesn't matter because it didn't get filed. Anyway. But yeah, he didn't know she'd be there. Blowing my mind.
That does blow my mind.
And And right before this board meeting, he went to his dad, which we haven't really talked about because he's not in it a whole lot, but
We just know he's
a dick.
shit. Like, that's all we know.
He goes to his dad and he was like, it was after the mom epiphany thing, and he was like, do you like regret falling in love with mom? And after even knowing what happened, would you go back? And he was like, yeah, like I loved your mom, like I would do it all over again.
Yeah.
Even if I knew she was gonna die.
Yeah.
Year 5 or whenever she died.
Yeah.
And like for some reason to Rowan that was crazy. And so he was like, okay.
Yeah, he also
do it.
asked, he said, do you think mom would be proud of you?
Oh shit, you're right.
And he was like,
dad said no.
No hesitations, no.
I was like, damn.
Yeah.
Get him.
And he's on the board voting
Yeah.
for Rowan's idea, and he's a dick during the meeting.
Yeah, I guess.
Well, he's just like asking all the hard questions, and Rowan's like,
But he has answers.
he does have answers. He came prepared.
So during his like presentation, he has gone around, I guess, and talked to employees.
Yep.
And done surveys with employees, done surveys with the guests and park members, whatever,
Yeah.
the guests, people who come to the park, and just like does questionnaires. And so talking to the employees, kind of like you talked about with Annie, she says she wants people that look like her, with dick disabled. And then we had this one guy, don't remember his name. He was a maintenance man that's worked there the absolute longest. He's the worker that's worked there the longest, second to their grandpa who has now passed away.
Yeah.
This man's worked there the longest. And he asked him about benefits or something, and he was like, oh, it doesn't matter anymore. Like, the pay doesn't matter to me anymore.
Yep.
And Rowan was like, when I asked every other employee, they said that did matter. So I went back to him and asked why it didn't matter. And he said, like, he had stage 4 cancer, and the health insurance that they provided wouldn't help him at all. So he was just gonna die.
He's basically just like waiting for his time. He was like,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna continue my life because there's nothing else I can do about this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that hit him too, like, oh wow, and I think when they took Zara to the hospital because of her pneumonia,
Yeah.
like, it hit him too, kind of like, shit, her insurance won't pay for any of this.
Yep.
And he paid for it, I think, out of his own pocket. He
Yep.
paid for her shit. And so I think, kind of all these things, he decided, his presentation was changing the health insurance, changing the pay, like 50% raise.
Yep.
It's fucking crazy.
It is crazy.
Because all the guest surveys, they asked, like, what makes us different? What makes Dreamland different than any other amusement park? And they said, the employees, the princesses, the actors, the people who do our makeup,
The people.
not the rides, the people that work there. And so he's like, if we want them to keep performing like that, we need to pay them how we want them to perform. And that's what the people want.
Yeah.
And a lot of the employees said, if they don't change the pay, we're going to have to leave and
Yeah.
all this stuff. So
Or
that
they have
was his
second
big
jobs
pitch.
or
Yeah, have second jobs. So like that was his big pitch, is to treat their employees right, basically.
Yeah. And he wanted to make the park more accessible to like
Yes.
other.
Disabled.
Yeah.
Wheelchair stuff, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Oh, like decorations for wheelchairs or some shit.
Yeah. No, like
I
just
don't know what, but that'd be cute.
opening up all sorts of things that like, and what we didn't touch on is the very, very beginning. One of the first scenes that we see with Zara, she's in her makeup, she's doing like the princess makeup thing, and her client, I don't know another word for it,
Customer.
is a girl in a wheelchair. And she sees like on her face that the girl in the wheelchair is like looking around, and she doesn't see anyone else like her, and she's like, you are the prettiest. Like, she's just talking to her in a very, very beautiful way, to where she made this little girl feel super, super special. And then her parents even acknowledged, like, thank you so much. Like, you literally just like helped her open up. Like, we've been trying to get her to have fun this entire time, blah, 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 blah. So it's something that is obviously close to Zara's heart too. I mean, especially with her sister.
I know, I didn't even think about like, because obviously that happened before we even met her sister. So
Now
it's like, oh, well, that makes sense why she was so like good with them and
Yeah,
all that.
she was just
has,
really,
like,
really
life
good.
Experience.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's all important, as it should be.
That's a chippy.
Yeah. So
This book had an epilogue.
listen, I freaked out about the epilogue because it's a 3-year later epilogue. Okay. And I was like, are they going to give us stuff from
Nothing.
the other brothers? And they didn't, which I was like, okay, good.
Bet.
But bro,
Don't even bring it up. The extended?
the 8-year one?
Yes.
No, let's talk about the 3-year one first.
Okay.
She announces something with her pin.
Yeah.
Do you remember what the pin was?
A bun in the oven?
It was the cutest thing ever. And he was like, what's that?
He said, whose is that?
Who is that? And she's like, And he's like, you're kidding. I was like,
Oh, also, this 3-year was them opening up
Nebula Land.
3 years later. She's like,
Yeah.
took a little bit longer than we wanted. I'm like, yeah, this is supposed to be a 6-month project. It took
Yeah.
3 years.
But it's a whole extension. It's a whole park.
Yeah, it's like it's like Harry Potter World
Yeah.
at Universal. It's its own old shebang.
It's his whole shebang and shaboodle. So it's like the cutting of the ribbon or whatever.
And it even said that the Lance's ride was still there.
Yeah.
But she was, like, she kind of accepted it because of that, she has Rowan now.
Yep.
Like,
Because if that ride didn't exist, she wouldn't have drunkenly submitted the letter. She wouldn't have been, like the whole shebang. So, yeah, the 3-year one was beautiful. And then
which also, randomly, I think Lance did go to Shanghai.
Wait, did we get that information?
I thought so.
I may have just like, ding.
I thought he did go, which made me laugh so hard.
I mean, if I'm given like, hey, either, quit, like don't work for this company anymore.
Yeah.
Or go to Shanghai, I'd probably choose Shanghai too.
That's fucking crazy to me.
Yeah, especially if you don't speak the language.
Exactly.
Ugh. Yeah, people aren't gonna like you.
Yeah. Okay. The 8-year.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Yeah.
That was so cute. Rowan had like written a book and drawn it because he draws, and it was like him and Zara's like meeting, and I'm assuming part of their relationship. We just got like the first 2 pages or some shit.
Yeah.
And he's reading it to his daughter while she's going to bed, and then he goes out to the porch for their daily, like him and Zara, are you crying? Sit on the porch, and they see the fireworks that happen at Dreamland because they live on Dreamland property. Can you imagine being a child and you just live at Disney, bro? I just want to be their little daughter that just like fucking lives at Disney.
No, they watch the fireworks together every single night. And then we find out that she's pregnant with her second.
Yep,
so
the boy. Yeah, I did get a little teary-eyed.
I'm tapping out.
Like, I love an epilogue. When this bitch said extended epilogue, I said, what? I know, 2? I was shocked. I know. What is happening right now? This is the best.
An epilogue.
And there were 2.
There were 2, and they're both
beautiful. Yeah, I love
beautifully
seeing the man interact with their daughter in the end. It's my favorite
My
thing.
grumpy became sunshine.
Oh my god. And she said, like, our daughter's never gonna find a guy who treats her like you do. And he said, that's the point.
I know.
It was very cute.
It was so cute.
I loved the epilogue.
Yeah, it was very good.
Best part.
Okay, so what was your rating overall? You can be honest.
I wasn't vibing with it for a long time.
Yeah.
So, but I loved the epilogue, but I shouldn't.
I know. Okay, so like one chapter really can't influence the entire book.
It's 2 chapters.
But you know what I mean. Because I'm the same way. Like the ending and the epilogue like kind of saved this book for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I gave it like a 2.5.
Yeah, I think I'm giving it a 3.
Yeah. I can't decide if I'm going to put it a 2 on Goodreads or a 3.
Yeah, I probably just won't rate it on Goodreads. I have this thing where like if it's not good, I don't rate it on Goodreads because I don't want to make anyone feel bad. It's their pride and joy they're
Everyone
putting
else
out
on
there.
the internet loves this book, so.
Yeah. And I mean, I think it is really good. I think just like my style, it just wasn't really there.
I agree. I don't know why.
Maybe because we can't relate to it because a billionaire?
I don't relate to Piper Bellinger.
You're right. I don't know. I liked it. I enjoyed it. I had a good time. It was a fun book.
I mean, from what you described of Piper's story, the money aspect wasn't like the main focus. Like in what you've described here, the money aspect was the main focus.
It's true.
He was very money-centered.
Very.
Very business-centered. I don't know. I mean, it's not an obtainable life for me.
Or living on a...
Yeah.
Living in a fucking fairy tale.
Yeah.
Like seeing the princess castle every day.
Literally.
Can't imagine that.
I can't imagine that.
Seeing the fireworks every night before I go to bed with my hot-ass husband that sounds like that Aiden Snow guy.
Yeah.
That shook me to my core. I could not believe that.
I know. You really did text me and you said, excuse me? He was like, why did you not tell me?
I was shocked.
Yeah.
But
no, it was good.
He narrates many books, so look him up.
Yeah. I think a solid 3 for me.
Yeah.
So what are your predictions for the next 2?
I could have already talked about it. I think Declan's going to be marriage of convenience with his assistant, Iris.
The secretary or whatever.
Yeah,
yes.
Iris
I
is
think
her
that's
name.
Like,
it was very obvious.
Plain as day. I think she's in love with him, but she's going to help him find a wife, and he's going to be clueless.
Oh, yeah, because she was, like, interviewing.
Yeah.
So fucking weird.
So fucking weird, because Declan's like, he's seeing it as like a job interview. He's like, yeah, go through all of the weed work and then just give me the flowers.
Tell me who the best woman is.
Yeah. And I think,
I know.
I think she is like really, really going to try
It's me, bitch.
to give him a wife. And then something's going to happen to where he's like, oh, wait, you're kind of cool, you know? And then, okay, what about Cal? What do you think about Cal?
Well, his is going to be that girl.
Right.
So I think it's going to be like a second chance romance. We don't know anything about her, but it's going to be a second chance.
And he has
Alana, I think is what it was.
Yeah, he has middle child syndrome, so there's going to be a lot of trauma in that one.
Who do you think your favorite brother will be?
Okay, so that was hard for me because I think Cal, because what we've seen of him in this book, he's funny as shit and not serious at all, and sometimes I really like that in a book character. But I think Declan is going to be the moody and broody that I usually just fall in love with. So I really don't know which one I'm going to like more. But I don't think it'll be Rowan.
Whispers it.
I don't think it'll be Rowan.
Just from the little I've seen of them, I just don't feel like I'm going to love any of them.
Yeah. I mean, they're all fucked up.
I guess.
But I mean, I think every single book that we've read except for... No, never mind. They've all been daddy issues.
Except what?
I was going to say except for It Happened One Summer, because Brennan, or whatever the fuck his name is, has a really good relationship with his parents, but Piper doesn't.
Piper doesn't. Yeah.
So I think they all stem from a form of daddy issue. And these boys got it bad.
Yeah. And I'm trying to think of all the books.
Yeah.
Hallie.
Julian
had a daddy issue. That's right. Okay. That's right. Oh my God. You're so right.
Yeah.
Parents be fucking up their kids.
Yeah.
Honestly.
I mean, we get some good stories from it, so.
I think Cal will be the funnest book to read.
I think so.
He's funny.
I think he's fun. I think he'll be a fun read.
I think he'll be the best book, but I don't think
best
I
brother.
would want to date him personally.
Oh, yeah. Rowan? I think he'd be too intimidating. I have to be able to have fun. I don't know if I'd be able to have fun with Rowan, you know?
Yeah. I can see that.
Yeah.
Declan?
Okay,
You think you will?
No, but there's
he's even more business oriented than Rowan.
These are good points.
Because he's the CEO of the company.
These are points.
These are points. That they are.
These are points.
I think you'll like Declan the most.
I think I'll like Declan
as
the
a
most.
guy.
Yeah, I'm sure.
What if he's
Cloak and Dagger?
The 50 Shades of Grey guy? He's really in business, but he likes to be crazy.
You think he's going to have a fucking
A
room?
contract.
There was a contract in here. And there will 100% be a contract in the
Terms and
second
conditions. And
Final offer.
final
That's
offer.
her 50 Shades of Grey novel. That's my prediction. Not necessarily.
As a man who didn't
S&M.
read them. Oh, I'm picturing a room and everything, Joe.
I don't think it'll be that way, but I think it'll be he's really
100% there will be a contract because I think it's going to be a marriage of convenience. So I think he will make them sign a contract of sorts.
Can you hear the sirens?
Oh,
They're a little faint right now, but we can wait a little bit.
it's another stabbing. Because that was only a block away, apparently.
Yeah,
What
it
the
was
hell?
okay, you know that creek behind my house? It was there.
Okay.
So it wasn't actually in my neighborhood, but he ran up into my neighborhood and was
To
running
escape.
around, or whatever.
I'm afraid Rowan will be my favorite, even though I still didn't really like him that much.
Just so everybody knows, Caitlin's phone ran out of storage, and we lost 10 minutes.
Sorry.
So
I mean, it'll just
10
be
minutes,
Kate's face.
10 minutes of the video are just going to be Kate's face.
As you probably already saw, so that's why. Yeah, I'm so sorry.
Joe looks at me and goes, wait, it stopped.
This is what, the fourth technical difficulty we've had with this one?
Yeah, this is a lot of technical difficulties.
Smooth.
At least
And the last one we had to do
The
this.
same thing.
Yeah.
luckily we're almost done. So
Yeah.
the only other things I really have is like, did this remind you of any other books we've covered?
Actually, no. I think it was pretty unique in its plotline for me.
We've already mentioned Secretly Yours
Oh yeah,
with the letters versus the
texting.
So it reminded me of that in that way. And the grand gesture reminded me a lot of Love Theoretically.
What are we counting as the grand gesture?
You know, the presentation.
The presentation. But she would have never known if she wasn't there.
She would have gotten the money.
You're right.
And she'd been like, oh my god, he doesn't suck ass after all.
Like, look at all these changes that are happening.
But I do think, like, how you said in Mr. Darcy,
Yeah.
she didn't tell him to do all these things. Like, just through his experiences with her and her family, he was like, oh, wait, I should probably change my ways.
Yeah, like, I have the power to do this, so let me do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I thought that, I don't know why it reminded me of Love Theoretically, like the grand gesture, but it did. I think it might have been because, like, his mom, like the mom comparison kind of thing.
Oh, yeah, so, like, he had an epiphany because of his mom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was like,
And it was a very public grand gesture.
Yeah.
Very public.
Like, the very work, how he's seen at work, I guess.
Yes.
So it reminded me of Love Theoretically like that.
Okay. That's fair.
Do you think he's similar to any other boys? The boys? We them boys. That just came to me.
I'm not editing. You guys are making me do.
I think whatever his name, Jack Smith Turner or what the fuck ever.
Theoretically.
I think he probably just reminds me the most of him.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think one of my favorite lines still ever of any book that we've covered is when Jack is like, so since you're not working for me, can I take you out? It's just like kill me.
Yeah.
I still think that's my favorite interaction of a book that we've had.
Same. Because she's so stupid. She's so dumb. Oh my god. Okay, this book on Goodreads has 3.8.
Oh, okay. So we're pretty average in our rating for it.
I thought that was pretty low considering
It's everywhere.
how much I see it on the internet.
But I wonder if it's the rest of the books kind of making up for this first one.
TBH, if I didn't say I was going to read the rest of them for this, I wouldn't.
Oh, I think I still would.
So, there's that.
Okay.
Okay. Took me like 10 fucking days to read this book.
I know, that is one thing that kind of sucks. Like,
And
obviously we say what we're going to read way in advance so that our listeners and watchers can read it and then join us for this chat. But sometimes that is, like, a disadvantage for us because, like, if we don't like a book, like, we're still held accountable for talking about a book.
And finishing it.
And finishing the book. I still would have finished this book. And I think even without the podcast, I would have finished the series.
I don't.
Yeah. Okay.
So, there's that. Do I think the end was cute? Yes. Did I like it? Yes. But the beginning, just like in Wreck the Halls, though, I don't think I would have finished it.
Yeah.
Which is crazy because I did actually really enjoy it by the end.
Yeah, that one was really slow going for me.
Very.
You know what I forgot to mention in this book is that it had the same weird smile thing that we've talked about.
Right. But the girl said it and I didn't find it weird.
And I didn't find it weird. It was just Julian.
100%.
We shit on him every episode.
I know we really do.
What was this?
So, you know how in Secretly Yours, Hallie smiled or some shit, and Jillian was like, I need to make her smile. I need
Hallie smile.
I need to see Hallie smile. I need to do what I need to do to see Hallie smile.
Yeah.
It happened again.
Zara
every
did.
summer after, and Zara, like, Rowan is seen as this very stoic person who never smiles, and she gets him to smile, and she says something like, I'm going to do whatever I can to get him to smile again or something.
Yeah, she's
I don't
like,
know.
oh, I like that.
Yeah.
I want to do that again.
Yeah,
But his is like rare smiles.
Yeah.
So it's a little different.
But I did notice that too. I was like, oh, she did it too, and I didn't find it weird.
I didn't find it weird.
So I need a boy to do it. That's not Julian.
Yeah, we need it. Yeah, we need that now.
That's all I need. Okay, next time we're reading Terms and Conditions, same author, following Declan, I think. Not sure, but we're just going to go with that.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's probably going to be Declan.
And then just are there any books y'all would like us to read? Any romance books that y'all have read that you've liked that we haven't talked about that you'd want us to read, or just some you see around that you want to read? And also, how do you feel about fantasy?
Yeah, like, your girlies need a break. Just kidding. We love
It'd
what
be
we
a fantasy
do.
romance.
Yeah, it'd be a fantasy romance, but definitely something a little bit different than the rom-coms that we've been reading. I read a lot of fantasy. It's my main go-to book, and Bailey is finally getting into the world of fantasy. Like, she's dipping her toes into it. Actually, you've done more than dip. I think last year you really did read a lot of fantasy.
A lot more than I usually do.
Yeah.
Which is none.
So we would like to look into some romanticies.
Mm-hmm.
And
Try that.
also, I don't know, are you into doing like YA romanticies?
Yes.
Because like The Shadows Between Us we've both read, and I think we liked that one. Anyways, we'd love your opinions, your recommendations, and your thoughts.
We could do ACOTAR.
That's too big.
It's too much.
Okay.
I mean, if we did it, I would only want to do the first one, and then like you can't just only do the first one.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
We've
6
talked about
books.
it. Yeah, we've talked about it. And it's just an unobtainable goal for us at this current
Juncture.
Yeah, there's
Joe.
Anyways.
Okay. Just making suggestions that are popular.
Also, I feel like with those, I would talk for 9 years.
Yeah.
I can see that.
So
It would be like
don't even
like
fucking get me going on Fourth
600
Wing, bro.
pages.
Yeah, we'll never talk about Fourth Wing on this podcast.
Because I will talk for 24 hours straight. But anyway,
She loves it too much.
I do. I have a problem. It's fine.
It's fine.
That's all.
Okay. Thanks so much for joining. Please make sure that you like and subscribe or follow us on Instagram. Our Instagram is at Our Book Boyfriends Podcast. We'd love to see you there. Give us a shout. And we'd love, love, love to hear your recommendations. Literally any book. It doesn't even have to be a book that needs to be featured on the podcast. We love reading. We're both a little tired of romance, to be quite honest. So anything, we'd love to hear it.
Yeah.
Thanks so much.
Bye.